The Carrot Caper, A Tale of Blind Turtles, Deaf Goats, and Mischievous Mice. Chapter 1. The case is Carrot napped one sunny day in the park. A group of rabbits gathered around a detective agency, looking worried and carrots. "Our carrots have been disappearing from our garden every night," said the leader of the rabbits, a plump bunny named Mr. Fluffernutter. "We need you to find out who's doing it and how to stop it." The detectives in the agency were all busy munching on carrot sticks, so they called in their top two detectives to handle the case. Meet Detective Shelley, the blind turtle, and Detective Billy, the deaf goat. "Don't worry, Mr. Fluffernutter," said Detective Shelley as he put on his detective hat. "We'll find out who's stealing your carrots in no time." Detective Billy nodded his head and bleated, "Bah! We're on the case." Chapter 2, The Great Carrot Caper. The two detectives set off to investigate the carrot garden. Detective Shelley used his sense of smell to lead the way, while Detective Billy used his sense of touch to feel for clues. As they searched the garden, they found a trail of carrot peels leading away from the garden. "It looks like our thief is trying to cover their tracks," said Detective Shelley. "But they didn't count on us being such good detectives." The two detectives followed the trail until it led them to a burrow in the ground. They could hear some rustling and munching noises coming from inside. "I think we've found our thief," said Detective Shelley. Chapter 3, The Mice Who Stole Christmas. The two detectives quickly hatched a plan. Detective Shelley would use his sense of hearing to listen for the thief's movements, while Detective Billy would use his sense of smell to sniff out the thief's location. Together, they snuck up on the thief and pounced. It was a group of mischievous mice, munching on the stolen carrots. "Gotcha," said Detective Shelley as he handcuffed the mice. Chapter 4, The Great Carrot Chase. As the mice tried to make a run for it, Detective Shelley and Detective Billy gave chase. Detective Shelley used his shell to bowl over the mice, while Detective Billy used his horns to headbutt them out of the way. It was a wild carrot chase through the park, with the mice zigzagging and the detectives hot on their tail. But in the end, the detectives were too fast for the mice, and they were able to capture them all. Chapter 5, The Carrot Confession. Back at the detective agency, the mice were grilled by the detectives. Okay, we confess," said the leader of the mice, a scrappy little mouse named Chuck. "We were just hungry and saw all those delicious carrots in the garden. We couldn't resist." "Well, you won't be able to resist these handcuffs," said Detective Shelley as he locked up the mice. Chapter 6, The Carrot Capers continue. But the case of the missing carrots wasn't over yet. As it turned out, the mice were just the tip of the carrot iceberg. There was a bigger thief at large, and they were determined to catch them. Chapter 7, The Case of the Mysterious Carrot Bandit. The detectives received a new case, a series of carrot heists all over the park. It seemed like someone was stealing carrots from every garden, every farm, and every bunny's lunchbox. "This is a carrot catastrophe," said Mr. Fluffernutter. "We need your help, detectives." Detective Shelley and Detective Billy were on the case. They set up a carrot sting operation, disguising themselves as carrot sellers at the farmer's market. Sure enough, the mysterious carrot bandit showed up, trying to steal their carrots. But the detectives were ready for them, and they tackled the thief to the ground. "Gotcha," said Detective Shelley. But to their surprise, the carrot bandit was a duck. Chapter 8, The Quacking Carrot Culprit. "Why, I never," said the duck, who introduced herself as Mrs. Quackberry. "I was just trying to collect carrots for my sick husband. He loves carrots, you see, and I'll do anything to make him happy." The detectives felt sorry for Mrs. Quackberry, but they still had to bring her to justice. They brought her to court, where she was sentenced to community service, helping the rabbits in their carrot garden. "I'll make it up to you, I promise," said Mrs. Quackberry as she was led away. Chapter 9, The Carrot Caper comes to a close. With the case of the missing carrots finally solved, Detective Shelley and Detective Billy were hailed as heroes in the park. They were given a ticker tape parade, and their faces were plastered on billboards and magazines. But the two detectives remained humble, always remembering the importance of helping their community and solving crimes. Chapter 10, The End of the Carrot Caper. And so, the case of the missing carrots came to a close, thanks to the brilliant detective work of the blind turtle and the deaf goat. The rabbits were able to enjoy their carrots in peace, and the detectives lived happily ever after, solving mysteries and having adventures throughout the park. The end.